How's it going? Just wanted to make this quick video going over how you would go about editing um, animations that you get from the marketplace using Advanced Skeleton. One of the things you want to do to when you're doing retargeting in Maya is you want to start with a T-pose. The T-pose is key. If it's in T-pose and it matches one-to-one, you'll get better results. So this is the Unreal skeleton that we have right here. Let me turn this on so you can kind of see. So this is the Unreal skeleton that I have to my custom characters rigged. Everything is ready to go. And I just have the skeleton, right? But I don't have controls on it to move it. Like when you first get it, obviously you can see controls here, but I didn't before. And I wanted to put controls on it, so we use this name matcher. And what this does is Advanced will go through and put the controls on it and basically use a entirely different rig to drive the bones underneath it. So you can see that these are two bones. The bones are being matched. So you want to bring in, let's say, a Unreal animation or something you got from the marketplace, and you want to tweak something. So if I brought it in FBX style from here, it will usually take on the animations and start animating because it has the same skeleton and the name and everything. But in this case, it won't, because the skeleton is influencing the Unreal skeleton that I have underneath. So Advanced Skeleton stops it, prevents it from actually moving. Main goal here is to be able to tweak it using my controls and things of that nature, right? So what I end up doing is, first off, when you get it, it's going to be in an A pose. So you want to set this up to be in a T pose, right? First, T pose is key, all right? So I try to set it close as possible to a good T pose. Make sure all the fingers are straight and everything as much as possible. And you take this, you want to go here and you want to bake this animation. So deselect this. This is the Advanced Skeleton stuff. We don't need to select that. So you actually want to select it in order. So I go bones, then mesh, and I like to go through and select all of my blend shapes because I want to make sure that gets carried over. And I don't want to run into anything. Maybe it's just fine me to just select the skeleton in the mesh, but I want to select it in order from top to down. And then you want to go and you want to say, hey, bake simulation, which is going to bake the animation. I have it set to baking one frame because I just want this pose, right? So we'll bake that, and then we'll bring in my my mesh that has no controls to it, that is the same mesh you just use in Unreal, the skeleton that you use in Unreal with the character, and it doesn't have any controls. So we want to open that up, and here we are by the power of editing. This took a little bit to load, but so we open up the character without any controls on it. You can easily say swap this out to be like Manny or whoever it is, right? So but this is like default Unreal skeleton, which is, this is using a custom mesh with the Unreal bones setup, right? So but let's say if it was Manny or whoever, this would be the same idea. You will bring in the mesh as it is with no controls, right? And our goal is to put this neutral mesh into a T pose. To the way we want to set it up is T pose first, then go into animation. And the way we're going to achieve that is by going to here, and we want to go animations and time editor. And this is like the clips, right? So you can pretty much drag in your different clips here. So I just did that bake of her in the T-pose, right? So in theory, we should be able to drag in the T-pose portion of it, and then drag in our Unreal animation. And by the way, if you didn't know, you have to, when you buy something from the marketplace and you want to edit it or edit the animations, there's two things. You can edit it in the actual Unreal, or if you're comfortable working in Maya like I am, you could export it and then bring it into Maya and do your edits there. I wanted to do it here because I have a bunch of blend shapes and other systems set up and stuff to work with my character. So, but yeah, so you want to bring it in, and I'm just going to click and drag it in here. It's thinking, and here we are. Here's our T-pose here. So there you can see, there she is. She snapped to that position because it has the same skeleton and everything. So it just Maya just recognizes that this is the same. So now I got this from the Unreal Marketplace, and these are spring backflips that I want to edit, but I want to edit them with controls. So this is expanded. That's on frame 0. This is on frame 1. It starts. So you can see she snaps into doing her animation. Let me just move this. Come out. It's a pretty long animation. So you can see she does her flip, back flip here. Right? And she has T-pose, then do backflip, right? Exactly what we want, right? Now I'm able to move this. Wasn't moving before, it's moving now. All right, so now that we have that in there, now we want to bake it. And to bake it, we want to make sure that these two are on the same track. So I'm gonna move this up, right? I'm gonna select both of these, and I am going to hit let's see, bake to scene and delete. All right, because after I do this, I'm not gonna need it anymore. So I'm gonna just bake to scene and delete. You can just hit bake to scene and keep your animations or your setup on your time editor, but I'm just gonna bake and delete. So let's do that. All right, so it's on the mesh now, and we can close this, and I'm also going to do another bake. This time I'm going to select everything like slow. You can see all the keyframes are there, and I'm going to stop to my list here. You might not have all of these extra controls. These are all just blend shapes and stuff. So I'm going to actually go to animations here, and then we're going to go to key, and then we're going to go to bake simulation. So it's going to bake. Okay, so this is all baked, and now that we've baked everything, we want to go and just save it, so or export it out. So we just need to go and make sure you have everything selected, and then export. Make sure animation is checked so it exports along with it. So that just finished and exporting. Now we want to go back to our scene there where we have the control rig. So yeah, here we are, right? Now let's bring it in as a reference. You want to go to file and say create reference, right? And then we navigate to our FBX that we just exported a few minutes ago, and we reference that in. So let's reference that in, and there it is, literally right on top of the other model. Yeah, so after we have that right on top of it, it's reference in. We want to go here, okay, grab the controls. Advanced Skeleton comes with these controls, and what we're going to do is we're going to excuse me, so we're going to go to Anim here, and then we're going to go to mocap matcher. So what I'm doing is I'm treating this animation that we brought in here, reference in, as a mocap data. All right, but the T-pose is the key. It needs to be in T-pose, right, so it can match it. So let's go to mocap Anim, mocap matcher here. Let's click it. Now it's gonna do a sort of like things to follow, right? Import mocap skeleton. So we already referencing our character with the animation. It's gonna so I have to select it now. So we're gonna go not this one, but one we brought in, we reference in, right? So we have to select that and scroll down here. Just past it. So here it is, and you know it's referenced when you see the little blue diamonds by it. Now I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna do a scan. You don't really have to do the zero out thing because we already kind of zeroed it out by using the T-pose that we did from the first when we baked it the first time. If you hit this on the at least on the Unreal skeleton mesh, it's gonna tweak out and do this, and we don't want that, right? That's yeah. So, and it's fine. It did that. Just scrub it. It snapped back. So just make sure that this is selected. Hit scan mocap skeleton, and we can kind of skip this step and set rig, then connect. And there you have it. It should work, and there you go. Now that we have it working with the controls, now we want to do another bake. So we would just hit bake, right? So now it has those animations baked on to the model. And we can reference this. So let's do that. So if you go to file, with the file and reference editor here, this box pop up, and you can just hit this checkbox and it unreference, and it's totally out of your scene. Keeps everything clean. We don't have any extra nodes or whatever floating around. And yeah, now you have your baked animation. You can close this. So when you scrub your timeline, there you go. And now you should be able to yeah, tweak your animations. You should be able to take your controls and move them as such. Grab one of these, rotate. Say if I wanted something like that, and just hit S. Now I have that on that frame doing that motion on that frame. So, and you can tweak your Unreal animations that you get from the marketplace with Advanced Skeleton. Now, there is another way you can do it. If you don't have Advanced Skeleton, you can always go through and use this system too, which is already built into Maya, and you create the rig, and it's sort of the same thing. It relies on like a T-pose. Let me know if you guys like to see a video on that. Maybe I can do that, but same steps. Anyway, I had a hard time trying to figure this out, So I hope this was helpful to somebody out there. Cheers.